Good morning, guys. Figured I'd sit out here and have coffee with y'all this morning. I don't know how my little phone holder is going to work here, but figured I'd show y'all my morning coffee routine. I think I got my chat in the wrong place. Let me see if I can fix that right quick. Sorry for the bounce around here. Oh, that may be a little better. We'll see. Oh, well, that wasn't near as good. What's going on, Chad? Christy? Give me a minute here. Technical difficulty. Well, in normal working fashion. Let's hope it's off. Hey, living MN, I ain't seen you guys in a while. There we go. Now, ice key, man. I got your box, Chad. I need to open. I'm a little scared. Oh, right on. I like it. Perfect. Now maybe it'll work. Music on. Perfect. I don't know where the hell that came from. YouTube is always up to copyright. Well, Mark, I don't even know where it came from, so I guess they strike me for copyright. Oh well. Maybe I got it working here. Don't be scared. Yeah. Well, you see, the problem with that is I remember the last box you got from me. Even though it was your wife that did that. That was kind of funny. Hey, Dusty. Yeah, it's kind of my little relaxation spot when I'm in the city. As bad as I hate it here, it's kind of on our back porch. Hope everybody's doing all right this morning. Kind of nice and quiet part of the city. Yeah, Mark, day by day, they're taking a little bit away from us. I've noticed the last few days, what's going on, JW? Few days since the weekend, you know, of course, the big hype was all the solar flare stuff. And every YouTuber out there had to make 14 videos about the solar flare. And here we sit Monday morning. Everything's absolutely fine. More red alert shenanigans. It's just another reason I try and tell you guys to be proactive and not reactive. I think that's the big misconception that everybody has, is they're just going to wake up one day and, you know, it's going to be Mad Max out there, which is completely possible. But in all honesty and truth of the matter, the long-term plan, guys, is, you know, they're doing it to us right now. Everything that's going on is a long-term plan. Why do you think they have Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050? They're winning. At this point, they are winning. Old Klaus and his, you're gonna own nothing and be happy. Look at what's happening. Look at how everybody is doing financially. Our younger generations can't afford to buy houses. People can't afford to buy cars. Inflation, food, energy. They are going to price us and regulate us out of everything. Yeah, little by little. Death by 1,000 cuts. Hey, random. Hey, turning guns. The space thing and sun and solar, all that stuff kind of interests me. Turning guns. I was lucky when I went to high school that we had a observatory in our school with a large telescope. So occasionally the kids would get to go up there and look through the telescope and see some pretty astounding things. Cher, good morning. This place that we live and what God made is very amazing. That's what just blows my mind about us species, humans. Hey, Tony. Y'all got 18 acres? Oh man, that's good news. Hey, Virginia bushcrafter. It is. This place that we call home is everybody's home. I mean, it's the only little rock that we got, or the one they told us about anyway. And look what we do to it. I mean, to be the smartest, most advanced species on the planet, look at what we do. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And we as people still can't get along here. It just blows my mind. I don't know what's worse, though. What we do to ourselves here, or what we allow people to control and do for us. I just don't understand it. It amazes me that there's so many people that see what's going on, and yet there's really nothing that we can do about it. Because the government's got us all scared. Well, Spencer, today I'm down in our Houston area house. The city where I don't like to be. But we all got to do things that we don't like to do. Fort Worth, well, you're a little closer to my farm out there, Spencer. Hey, Bug Out, how's it going? Joe, glad you made it. Yeah, Texas ain't too bad, Virginia. You know, there's a lot of beautiful, great places all over our country. Before I retired as a catastrophe adjuster, I got to travel all over the United States, probably 45, 46 states. And there are some beautiful, beautiful places around our country. Unfortunately, beauty doesn't have a lot to do with living. It's nice to look at, but a lot of those places are extremely difficult to live in. Hey, Stans. Yeah, Joe, coffee is a must. All of our willingness to go along with this program they have in front of us is just, man, I sit back sometimes and just, whew. Watching the YouTubes only confirms everything. Well, that's good, Randall. Maybe you'll have some little chickie soon. I sent some eggs up to Chad at 9 to 5 here a week or so ago. ALG, morning. Thanks for stopping by. I don't get on any other social media platforms really, but YouTube confirms just the amount of people that either don't care or are unaware or uneducated, whatever you want to call it. I don't understand how people can't see it and don't want to do something about it. At least talk about it, you know, on YouTube. Most of these platforms are free, and people don't even take the time to spread the word or teach or educate themselves. And not so much people here in the chat, but you know, you have to look at the majority of the people. The mass amounts of masses of people that don't do anything. They got to get out and show you their fast car or their newest, latest gun, or shake their ass and titties, you know, all for clicks. What's going on? I got to bring Chad up at 9 to 5. If y'all have not subscribed to him, if you're still in here, Chad, drop your link. This guy, you know, he's pretty much come full circle. Did the off-grid live, had his family out there, gave it a shot. He'll explain to you how difficult it is. Is it actually buffering, guys? I'm in town. There should be a pretty good signal here. Yeah, that's the thing, bug out. It's just you know, it's sad for the massive amount of people, and it's not just here in the U.S., it's a worldwide thing. That's what I don't think a lot of people grasp here in the U.S. They live in a bubble and they don't realize the rest of the world is progressing along with whatever that may be. You know, the BRICS and the financial thing. The rest of the world is moving on, no matter what we do here in the U.S. The other countries are wising up to what the system has done here and what other people have done. You know, big names, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Carnegie. They've caught on to that scheme, and they're wising up to it. And that is going to hurt all of the people here in the U.S. And I think that's the big mistake everybody makes, is they're just going to wake up and think it's going to be Mad Max, which is completely possible, but I really feel and have always thought that it's going to be a long-term thing. They take a little at a time, just like how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And us older folks, you know, probably 35, 40 and older, we understand. Some of us actually grew up a lot freer and got to experience a lot more things than what this younger generation does, or will ever be able to. The things I've done as a kid, you know, I don't think my kids would ever be able to. And those younger kids that never experienced any of that, those freedoms are lost. They never got to experience them, so they never know what it was. And that's how they get us, just a little at a time. I think the pot's already at a full boil, bug out. Morning, Mrs. Metal. I don't know that we'll ever be able to recover from it. So I don't believe in this whole voting thing and red, blue, two-party, Trump's gonna save us kind of thing. The damage has been done. I mean, you just take immigration right off the top. I mean, there's been millions and millions and millions of these people come into this country that will never leave. I don't know if any of y'all saw old Biden's little gift the other day where he said he had all these immigrant voters coming in. You know, and they're all on the on the way to getting these people to where they can vote. And it doesn't have to be necessarily on a federal level. I mean, in all honesty, you know, you get these people voting at your local level, and the local goes right up all the way to the top. Again, passing those regulations and laws, and we've all heard so much stuff. You know, they're coming for your chickens, they're coming for your cows, they're coming for your farm. How much can we take? At what point does it actually break the camel's back? I've seen so many videos about people just not even paying their bills no more. That all leads back into it. You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. As tough as it is here for everybody, and I know a lot of people got it tougher than others, but that's been their whole plan the whole time. Take a little at a time, and as bad as you think it is now, how bad do you think it's going to be in 6 years when 2030 gets here? Anybody that cares, you know, who wants to call themselves a patriot or loves America, you know, they want you to go off and fight this foreign war. It's coming, you know, it's just all proxies now, but in the bigger picture, you know, they want to take us to war. Send our kids off. I don't understand it. I mean, it just has to come down to greed and power of these people. And I know the names that we always hear, you know, the big names, Bill Gates and Elon and Soros, and, you know, I think those guys are all just puppets. I mean, you think Bill Gates or Elon has a lot of money? Those people ain't got no money compared to, you know, Rockefellers, Rothschild. The king and queen family over in England, you know. That's kind of why I slowed down and stayed off of YouTube a little bit. It's just everybody wants to bitch and complain about the doom and gloom, but I mean, really, how do you make a pertinent video today without exacerbating that doom and gloom issue? Because that's what it is. Yeah, the royal family. Just imagine the amount of power and money the royal family has. I mean, back a couple of 100 years ago, and it didn't even have to be a couple of 100 years ago. I mean, even recently into the, you know, 19th century. You think about people like Edison and Tesla and, you know, really smart people that brought us a lot of great inventions. Where did those people get their money from? I mean, when Edison or Tesla needed money to fund one of their projects, you know, they would have to go to someone like Rockefeller or Rothschild or JP Morgan to get their money, to make their invention, to do their studies. And when they did make something, you know, like gasoline or a light bulb or AC power, all of those rights and money made from those things go to the people who gave them the money. It was collateral. You know, Tesla got his money and gave the rights away for his inventions. And who collected all that money? Just think about the light bulb. The invention of the light bulb and how much money has been made off of the light bulb. And that goes for everything. Well, thanks for stopping by, Mrs. Metal. Oh, you'll be listening. I'm gonna not to ramble on too long. I don't think my phone is that charged. Yeah, LD, history has been being written every day now. We are a living part of history. It's probably what's going to get me in trouble. Because I don't want to kick the can down the road anymore. I don't want my kids to have to go through what we're going through, worry about food and power. It's easy for us to all sit back and blame the previous generations for letting the government get by with what they've done. And yet here we are, kicking the can right down the road, just like they did before. No, they aren't teaching them anything good in school. Another reason why our kids are homeschooled. We try and do a better job. I know it's a better job. Just the difference in our kids and other kids when we go out somewhere. It's crazy. And other people notice it too. We've had people tell us, they see a difference in our kids. And not that we teach them everything that's necessarily right or wrong. See if I can give the fishy some more food here. Hey, Ski Man. Well, thanks for stopping by. The whole thing just amazes me. I don't even know what to say sometimes. It just... Yeah, that's probably a lot of our problem, JW. People have gotten away from God. I won't say religion. Religion is a farce to me. I think your spiritual connection between you and your God is between you and your God only. The freedom that we enjoy, you can follow whatever God you want as long as you follow one, I guess. It's just the moral code of people nowadays. I mean, you can't get on, I assume, any social media platform and not notice that the morals have just completely gone away. Everybody's out for the almighty dollar. Not realizing that money ain't gonna make you happy. It may make life easier and grease the wheels for a smoother ride, but it ain't gonna make you happy. The more money you got, the more you want. The more you got, the more it takes to maintain. You get into that never-ending battle rat race of new cars, new houses, new boats, new ATVs, new oodads and doodads and gadgets everywhere. Now you got to go work an 80-hour week to pay for all that crap. What will be the spark? I think it's already happened. I mean, I personally think we are at an unrecoverable time in our nation's history. Look at the debt. I mean, I don't think most people really understand the debt and what it has done to our country. There are several people right here in this chat right now, you know, good American people that have worked, paid their taxes, done everything they were supposed to do. And look at him, Joe. You know, pretty good dude. Fell on hard times, and who's there to help? He goes to the government, you know, to get assistance, and what do? They ain't helping. It takes you years to get on the system, years to get help. The amount of help you get is very minimal. Crap, basically. But yet you got millions of people that are coming over this border that have never paid $1 in taxes, never worked a job here legally, never done anything for our society. And, you know, these people are getting, you know, $3,000 a month right off the bat. Free housing, free transportation, free food, free medical. And we're paying for all that. Not actually us. I mean, probably everybody that's of age in this chat, 18 and above, your taxes are already spent. I know, you know, you still got 20, 30 years left to work before you can retire, but your taxes are already spent. They're spending your grandkids' tax money, all right? They've already spent your kids' money. I mean, my kids that are 10, 11 years old, from the time they work from 18 to 65, all the taxes they are going to pay are already spent. That's right, Tony. Our grandkids are paying for it. Hey, Kathy. And we, again, have allowed people in control. You might as well say the government. I don't mind saying it. It's the freaking government that's doing it. We've allowed them to spend all this money and throw that burden on our kids and our grandkids, kicking that can down the road. Why? How can we allow this to happen? Why did we allow it to happen? Well, just like everybody before us, they got us scared of the government. Well, look at what's going to happen. Look at what happened to the people on January the 6th. You know, it blows my mind that our government wants to call that an insurrection. There wasn't a single shot fired. I think there was, one person that was killed. And they were done, you know, the killing was done by the government, again, on an unarmed citizen, expressing their political belief. That's what you got to look forward to. You want to fight the system, the government is ready to kill you. They're not even doctors now, Mark. That's the problem. I don't need a doctor, I need a healer. I need someone that would actually care about my health and well-being, not chalk me up to some number in the government. All all of those doctors and nurses are all complicit. Everything coming out now about your vaccines, that we were all right. We knew what was going to happen. There have been so many people tried to warn us. Again, you shouldn't even need to be warned in today's society. Just look at what's going on. I don't know how anybody with two brain cells to rub together can't figure out what is going on. Oh, there's going to be so much come down the pipe, Mark, on the AI and computers. You know, this whole deal really is just beginning. It is hard for a lot of people out there. I know several people in this chat that are, at wit's end. They don't know what to do. There are no options out there. That's really the bad thing. I mean, smart people with good intentions and the will and desire to want to do things and the ability to do things can't. Smart people. What do they get? More government regulation, more taxes. I mean, it wasn't just, a month or so ago, some of our Canadian friends up there showed us how they were implementing the new 23% green tax deal, or green tax, whatever it was. It's coming here to the U.S. I mean, it wasn't just a couple of weeks ago they were discussing the 46% tax on us here. The whole Revolutionary War was started over taxes. I think it was a 2 or 3% increase on tea. Our forefathers stood up on a 3% tax and made this country what it is today. And yet here we are, probably now, I'd be willing to bet probably 60 up to maybe 70% of our income is taxed. I mean, just the 46% capital gains tax, they're wanting to implement here on us. I mean, just imagine that, guys. You make an investment and the government has their hand out for 46%. And the other 54% that you get to keep, anything that you buy with that, they're going to tax you on. So what does that raise it to? Oh, is MT in here? I didn't get to see you. What I don't like about this phone is the chat goes by so fast, you can't see all them comments. Hey, MT, there you are. Thanks for stopping by. It's just crazy and unbelievable, guys. I wish more people could stand up or would stand up, or I wish there was something that we could do, but as soon as you do stand up, you're a traitor and against the government, blah, blah, blah. They want to throw you in jail. I say the government, I'm not necessarily anti-government per se. I mean, I do think there is probably some place for government, because in the world which we live, we have to deal with other countries. There is a global network that we have to deal with, and I personally don't want to deal with it. So we need people that, are willing to do that. But I think when our government was founded, you were known as a public servant. And you went and served your country. It wasn't based on pay and what you could get and the kickbacks and the corruption. And, you went and served your country. And if few years, and then you went home. That's not the way it is today. I mean, you elect these people to go up there and represent you. How many? I mean, if you feel represented by any of your government, type a 1 in the chat. If you think they're representing you well and spending your money well and doing what you think should be right. Exactly. Nobody is being represented by our elected officials. And yet we expect these people to, police themselves. You think these people are going to vote or make any kind of law that's going to go against them? I mean, what's the average salary today in America? 50,000? 60? And you get a congressman that goes up there to DC, and I think their average salary is about 160,000. And of course, we pay for their good health care, which is totally separate than the health care that we get. We pay for their travel and their food. They get all the insider trading information. They get all the kickbacks. A bill. We get the scraps that's left over. Yeah, turning guns, and I hate to use the word government. It's the officials. Government throws them all into the same category, but, you got to call the kettle black, I guess. I mean, it is the government. It's the government that, well, I guess some of y'all elected. I didn't vote, so I didn't elect them. People get on me about that all the time, the voting. And I see it as two evils, both sides. It doesn't matter which side. In my view, they're both evil. And I don't vote for evil on either side. That's my biggest reason. Not to mention the fact what's happening with immigration. Most of the legal votes here are null and void. Now the problem is nobody's going to stand up and do anything about it. They're scared of the government. They're going to lock you in a cage. Or even still, they'll kill you over it. We find ourselves in a quandary. I mean, over the simplest thing. You take a minor traffic infraction. You get pulled over and you ain't got your seatbelt on, and the old officer gives you a ticket, Well, you're a big boy and don't think Big Daddy government needs to be telling you what to do. So you don't pay your ticket. Well, we all know, you don't pay your citation ticket, they're gonna issue a bench warrant for you. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna come knocking on your door for your seatbelt. But the next time you get pulled over, guess what? The old law enforcement officer is going to pull up on his little screen there that you got a little warrant out for your arrest. And now you got to step out of the car. How do you think that's going to end for you? Are you willing to let these people take you, kidnap you, and go lock you in a cage over your little seatbelt ticket? Because they're willing to kill you for it. If you refuse to get out of the car or, whatever with the officer, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to pull a gun on you and force you to do that? They will. And they will shoot you right out there on the side of the road, dead, over a seatbelt ticket. That's the freedom that we've come to. freedom. Are we really free here? Hey, KP. Long term, guys. That's why I've been trying to express across my channel that you just don't need all this emergency food. You need to be able to grow, maintain your own food. What you doing, Shuggy dog? Huh? What you doing? Hey, Mark. There's Dottie's mom. They look similar. Old Bootsy. You good doggy. Yeah. They having coffee. Yep, identical. Old Shuggy. It's just a crazy, crazy world, guys. I don't understand it anymore. You know, the old saying, you should have been born at a different time. Everybody wants to pick, you know, a long time ago. But really, we all need to realize that God put us here at this time for a reason. In all of his infinite wisdom, he knew this was the time that we needed to be. Hey, Fun. I don't know what my purpose is, but I sure hope it's to fight. As bad as that is to say, it's just the truth. You get to that point to where you get older. You know, I was talking with the guy the other day. I want to stand up and fight with everything I got. Not to kick that can down the road for my kids. And my kids are the same reason that I don't stand up and fight. Because I know what's going to happen when I do. And I don't want to have to leave them in all of this. So it's a double-edged sword. We've all seen so many examples of what the government's going to do. I mean, through the lies and rumors, and, you know, nobody really knows the truth of what happened at Waco, right here in my great state of Texas. But that was the largest mass murder in U.S. history. And guess who pulled it off? Your government. They don't mind going in and killing men, women, and children. Ruby Ridge, yep, there's another one. The Bundy deal out there where they killed LaBoy. The government has no problem killing you. You know, and it ain't going to be these bastards that made the rules and regulations and laws that come out here and do it. They have their people, law enforcement, that will do it. We see it every day. We see police kill innocent people every day. And you don't think they won't do it to you? For whatever reason. Hey, Wendy. It's just crazy. I don't understand it. I'll try to wrap my mind around it and understand. Greed and control, evil, what do you call it? How do you describe that kind of evil? Nonsense. Yeah, a long time ago wasn't any easier. I mean, you know, people like to believe that because of the movies and everything, but life really ain't the movies. It's much like YouTube here. You know, you get to see a lot of the, well, probably 98% of the good stuff, but they don't show you the real deal. I get a crack up from all the off-gridders on YouTube. It's funny sometimes, you know. People put off this off-grid persona that they're gonna go live off-grid. It's gonna be so easy, you don't have any expenses, you got no mortgage, no electric bill, no payments, no bills. Oh man, it's gonna be paradise. Go live off-grid. The first video they put out, you can hear the generator running in the background. And I can 100% guarantee you that running a generator off grid is the most expensive way to live. Because most of those generators are going to burn about a gallon of gas an hour. And at today's prices, it's averaging about $4 here in Texas. $4 an hour to run your little generator. That's about 4 times what you're going to pay on your regular little electric light bill that comes in monthly. Or they got their washing machine plugged into their generator to wash their clothes. Now, I will tell you, there's a few real ones out there. Y'all go check out Macabus. I don't know if he's in here or not, but I watched one of his videos the other day where he was washing clothes. He had his big cast iron pot out there, you know, had his clothes simmering, heating by the fire. It might turn some of y'all's stomachs, but you know, the ingenuity and intelligence that it takes to get by old school ways. The guy saves his urine and turns it into a usable product around his homestead farm off-grid location, and uses that urine to wash his clothes with. You know, and that's going to turn most of y'all green in the face. But, you know, it's a simple fact of it. When you need something to clean something, you can take something else that most people think is useless waste and turn it into something useful. Yeah, the washing isn't necessarily the problem, but drying becomes the problem. And yeah, when it's summertime and, you know, 120 degrees outside, it's easy to hang your clothes out on the clothesline and get dry clothes. But for a lot of you guys, you know, that live up north, you only get nice, decent weather a few months out of the year. And, you know, yeah, clothes will dry outside when it's cold and damp, but it takes a lot longer. Why do you think people back in the day, the 1800s, they didn't get a bath every day and they didn't wash their clothes every day? I mean, I know you've all seen the old westerns where the guy goes into the saloon and pays his, you know, 25 cents for his bath. Has some lady bring his buckets of warm water in there. Hey, Tech. Most people today probably couldn't imagine going 2 or 3 weeks or a month without a bath or clean clothes. Hey, Camo. Yeah, just the simplest thing, you know, clean clothes. Yeah, wood stoves, you know, it all just becomes an inconvenience. We are so attuned to having conveniences around today that the masses and majority of people just are not going to know what to do. Yeah, when you don't keep yourself clean there, Freedom, it leads to all kinds of other issues. Yeah, Christy, a generator, that's the most expensive way to do it. Oh, but we're off grid. Everything's, you know, so much cheaper. Oh, dang, I got to run to town to upload my video onto YouTube because we're off grid and we don't have a good signal out here. Oh, boy. Yeah, you know, just that, the quality of clothes that you buy today. Most of those clothes ain't going to make it, you know, a month. Take some of this stuff and wash it the old-fashioned way. A circle of death. Well, I hope it's good on my end here. I'm in the city, so I should have good signal. We are far enough out in the country, I can't do lives out there. Of course, we do have internet in the house, but yeah, just the process of living day to day. My little cabin is sort of kind of off grid. I mean, you have to haul water to it, run a generator if you want power. It's heated by wood. And long ago, when I lived there, half of my day was pretty much spent preparing wood and gathering water. Half of your day. That's why community becomes so important in these situations, is because you can't do it all yourself. The security, the gardening, the repairs, the clothes washing, the cooking, the wood gathering, the water. I mean, it's too much for any single person to do. That's why the lone wolf people ain't gonna make it. I know, you think you're by yourself, it doesn't take that much. It takes a lot more than most people realize. Hard physical labor when you don't have all these conveniences. It's one reason why I chose to live or build our farm where it is. Location, location, location. If all of this goes down like we think it's going to, the area to which you choose to live is going to make a big difference in your life. And I know there's millions and millions of people that live up north. Let's just say anybody north of Oklahoma. And it gets pretty damn cold in Oklahoma too. But they all say, oh, you know, we can make it. We got, you know, we got a wood stove. That's the big thing right off the bat is, oh, we got a wood stove. We can do it. I want to know how many, maybe even, you know, in the chat or people that you know personally, how many of them get out there and cut their own wood? Not go buy it, not pre-chopped, not cut, you know, I'm talking about go out there, cut the tree down, cut the tree up, split it, haul it back, stack it, dry it, and get it ready for the season. Do a few of you actually do it? Now take away the chainsaw and do it with an axe. Because in all honesty, the chainsaw is not going to be there forever. So how many of you do it with an axe by hand? If you couldn't go buy wood or coal or propane, or the power's out, whatever you want to say, if you have to manually, physically heat your home, how many of you could do it? I mean, I use all the modern conveniences, chainsaws, wood splitters, all of that good stuff. Hey, Des. And I only use maybe 5 or 6 cords a year of wood. And I'll tell you, it's a hell of a job to get 5 or 6 cords of wood cut, hauled, stacked, chopped, dried, ready to go for me to use in the wintertime. I don't think a lot of people are physically able to go out there and do it. Probably 98% of them anyway. I mean, in all honesty, the masses don't even have a wood burning stove. Yeah, you know, a few people in the country, they may have a fireplace or something. But even fireplaces really aren't made to heat your home. Most of them are today or to look at for ambiance. Hey, Shaky. Yeah, wood is just one part of it. I mean, water. How many of you go and collect your own water? The wood thing, how many of us actually have wood on our property to process? And if you're living in the city, suburbs, there's not a lot of wood out there you can cut down. And you ain't gonna go out there and just cut down some green tree and burn it. I mean, that tree needs to sit, 6 months to a year, depending on where you live and the climate you're in, for it to dry. Not an easy feat. Just the simplest thing, the wood for heating and cooking. What are the masses gonna do when the water quits coming out of the faucet? How far is it from your house to your closest water source? If you don't have a well and it's not coming out of your city water tap, how far are you gonna have to walk to get water? I mean, Shine, hush, what are you doing? House, 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 house. This is suburbia out here. House, house, house. How far are these people gonna have to walk to get water? I know personally, because I've done the research, there's a pond about half a mile from our house here. A city pond. It does collect some water. I was looking the other day, the greater Houston area, 7.3 million people. Right here. Around us, 7.3 million people. You see that little guy over there on the fence? Maybe? Can you see him? Where'd he go? See that little guy? I think food is going to become an issue. Little squirrels ain't going to last long here in the city. Where are you going to get food? Where are you going to get any supplies? Where are these 7.3 million people going to go? What are they going to do? Power's off, the water's not coming out of the faucet. I mean, you can just figure probably 95% of the 7.3 million people are going to be in a bad situation. Dude, what are you doing, buddy? There's Papa. Mark. I mean, these people ain't going to have water. They ain't going to have food. It's the problem with living in the city. Because when shit hits fan, most of these people are going to revert right back to being very animalistic. We are animals, after all. And when people get hungry, $7.3 million. And that's just greater Houston. Can you imagine what these people are going to do? That's why I tried to talk to y'all guys about population density and how important it is to get out into the country. Not that that is a guarantee, but your odds definitely improve. You can attempt to grow your own food. You will be able to harvest wildlife for some time. But that's the prime example. You know, a lot of people on YouTube, oh, I'm just going to go out and get a deer and catch some fish and kill a squirrel, and not considering that these 7.3 million people here, they're going to venture out into the country and do the same thing. They're going to kill the first deer that they see, not giving a damn about hunting laws or, you know, breeding seasons or population. They're going to see meat and they're going to take it. Now multiply that by, I don't know, let's say 250 million people. I think that's a big problem people have, is it's hard to wrap your hands around 250 million people. I mean, most of us, maybe you've been to a big sports arena or a ball game or something, you know, where there was maybe 20, 30, 40, maybe even 100,000 people there. Concert, you know, whatever it is. We've all been to a big event. And that's just 20, 30, 40,000 people. And you see how easily and fast some of that stuff can get out of control. Can you wrap your head around 250 million people that are unprepared? We all know someday there has to be a breaking point. Whether it be the grid or the supply lines or the medical or financials. There will be a breaking point. They're doing it to us right now, every day. As bad as everybody thinks it is, this is only the beginning. I mean, obviously it was going on long before COVID, but, you know, they really started applying the pressure a few years ago during the COVID. Whether it be from the lockdowns or the regulations or whatever, you know. We lost a lot. Businesses, supplies, morals during that whole thing that aren't going to come back. Well, I believe there's going to be a round 2 on that. They're gearing up and ramping up for it. Maybe it ain't going to be COVID. Could be the H5N1 or pig virus or whatever it is they choose next to do the same thing to us again. Yeah, well, I've heard, a couple of different things about how they've all started talking about how they're going to cut off a lot of the immigrants in 60 days. A lot of these places like New York and Chicago, LA, the ones that were all inviting them in before, the sanctuary cities, they've spent up all their money given to these people, and now they're going to limit them to 60 days on housing or whatever. Where do you think these people are going to go? What are they going to do? I know you've all seen it. The robberies, the rapes, the killings, everything going on. Not that it wasn't happening before, but the situation has been exacerbated. Millions upon millions upon millions of other people thrown into this country with no foresight, no intention of good intentions, just to live off of the, us, the taxpayer, the hard-working people. I mean, do y'all realize that really only 50% of the people in the U.S. pay taxes? So 50% of the hard-working people pay for everybody else. I don't like it. I'm done. Yet we're forced to pay, or they're going to lock you in the little cage. Oh, man. Makes you want to stand up so bad. Makes you realize that all the people fought, died for this country in the past, for this. I got lots of veteran friends that are just blown away. It ain't what they fought for. Ain't what they agreed to. Think of how many people have died to give us what we got today. The illusion of freedom. Taxes at 60%. Government regulation. Immigration. It is crazy. We kick the can on down the road further and further and further. I'm going to try not to get excited and get off on a tangent here, but it really pisses me off, guys. Like to the core. Like you're ready and willing to stand up and die. Would I die for my kids' freedom? Hell yes. Would I die for other Americans' freedom? Sure. Because those other Americans are the same Americans that are going to grow up with my kids. Don't know what to do. Who are you going to complain to? You going to go vote or write your congressman a letter? Man. Yeah, Wendy, my girls. Oh, it bothers me to no end to know what they're growing up into. No, there's really not a lot that I can do about it. Everybody knows you stand up, what's going to happen? The government's going to kill you, make an example out of you. Look at the January the 6th guys. What'd they do? Made an example out of them. This is what's going to happen when you stand up. That's what's so funny to me is they want to call that an insurrection and throw people in jail over it. I hate to tell Washington, they got no fucking clue what an insurrection is going to be. Well, that's the thing, Carl. I wish more people would just speak up. I mean, you got these people out there with YouTube channels and a free platform, and, you know, they got to go shake their titties and show you their fast car and the latest, greatest craze on whatever it is to get them clicks and views. I just don't understand it. I mean, you're given this free platform to stand up and voice your opinion. People are scared. You know, don't get on YouTube and say January the 6th or COVID or insurrection or, you know, to hell with the government. They might label you. And then you're not going to get all that, you know, movie stardom, social media fix people are attuned to. Mark and Debbie, man, y'all stand up every Saturday morning. Y'all go check them out. Drop y'all's links. Y'all drop some links in there. I mean, I'm sure most of you are aware of the other people. It's just crazy. Hell, I can't get on YouTube today. Look at there. There's Bland's. I missed y'all's comment. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, they're restricting it more and more every day. That's why you should take the opportunity to stand up. The silent majority is no more. You're not the majority anymore. The silent majority really isn't the majority anymore. I mean, what? Biden came out, what, a month ago? You know, white people are the minority now. And not that color makes any difference whatsoever. If you believe in freedom and truth and you got a good moral perspective, I don't give two shits what color you are. It ain't got nothing to do with it because we're all people and we're all on the same rock. And chances are ain't none of us going anywhere different. And here we sit, thousands of years later, and we still can't get along. Well, thanks for stopping by, Unknown. Have a good day. What you doing, Toothless? You good puppy. Yeah. And really, most of us just want to live a life and be left alone. So many people, so many different views. Everybody thinks differently, has their own opinion. Me, I believe in true freedom. I'll choose dangerous freedom any day. you get into that whole discussion about crime and laws and what are laws. Well, thanks for stopping by, Des. You have a good day too. Laws are just one man telling another man that they can't do something. They're smarter than you. They know better than you. So you do what we say. What is true freedom? The best example. You get in your car and drive home drunk. Drinking. Not something that I would tell you to do anytime, but, you know, go to your buddy's house, you have a couple of beers, you get in your car, you go home, the officer pulls you over, and boom, you got a DUI. Who's the victim? You didn't hurt nobody. Was there a law broken? Was there a crime committed? Should you not have the freedom to stop by your buddy's house and drink a couple of beers and then go home? Yeah, it's dangerous, but it's freedom. If I don't want to wear a seatbelt, why do I got to wear a seatbelt? It's my life, after all. Crimes. There are so many rules and regulations and laws. Most people probably commit 2 or 3 felonies during the day. Unknowingly. The whole marijuana debate. You know, illegal as hell here in Texas. Felonies. Lock you in a rape cage. But you can drive 100 miles up here to Oklahoma and everything's totally legal. How is that a just, fair system? What difference does it make what somebody does on their personal time at home? Well, good morning, Tina. It's just amazing. You think you got freedom of choice and all this freedom. I don't know what to tell people anymore. I'm not a leader. I'm not a follower. I just do my own thing. I do what I think is best and right, morally, ethically. Try and live a good life. I mean, for most of us, the things that we do aren't even for us, it's for our kids now. I know in the current situation, my kids, even though, you know, I try and raise them right, many of y'all maybe have seen my boy. You know, he's a good kid. He's had a job since he was 16, goes to work every day, Monday through Friday. Construction, hard work. You know, learning a trade, skills. You'll never be able to afford a home. I mean, on his 15, 20 bucks an hour. Hey, Canajan. We're just sitting around chit-chatting, randomly. So what can I do since I'm an older guy? You know, been having some success and being blessed. You know, you'll be able to pass a few things on to your kids, but what good is it going to do them? I mean, they're going to be taxed and regulated to death. Yeah, the problem with people seeing it now, Carl, is so late in the game, many people can't do anything about it. I mean, how, you know, the younger generation, even if they woke up and saw it, how are they going to go buy a piece of property? How can they buy a decent vehicle? The system has them. In every way. They're scared to stand up, afraid of our government. You know, the people that we elected, the masses. And you take all of these people. I mean, you take all of the homestead, prepping, survival, you know, different groups that YouTube has of people that are, you know, aware of what's happening. You take them all. I mean, even the, you know, the red alert guys. Who do you got? Canadian Prepper. Well, he's got 1 million subs. Well, you got Full Spectrum Survival. He's got a few 100,000. What's the Off Grid with Doug and Stacy? They got 100,000, couple 100,000. You got Bear. What? He's got a couple 100,000. I'm sure there's a bunch of, you know, gun tubers out there, hundreds of thousands. Put all of these people together. Hey, Holly. You put all of these people together. You know, let's say you got 4 or 5 million. Hell, even 10. 10 million on the overall 330, 340, 350 million people in this country. It's a very small percentage. Very small. And you'll never be able to get all of those 10 million people on the same page. That's the thing with the upcoming civil war that everybody is talking about or seems to think is going to happen. It ain't going to be a civil war on North versus South or red versus blue. It's going to be everybody on everybody. Kind of every man for himself type situation. Because everybody has their own idea and own beliefs. And then you throw in the ethnicity in on top of that. There's always been that hate. There's no reason to deny it. The black on white, the brown on black, the, you know, Asian on this, the Mexicans on that. Considering throwing in the criminal element on all of this. Yeah, there's good folks all over. I always joke around about California, you know, but as bad as California is, or New York, or Chicago, wherever. I mean, there are good people in these places that just can't get out. They're stuck there. And even though, you know, we look at it and say many of these places are worse than where we are, we're stuck in the same situation. Some of these other states just lead the way on tyranny. Set an example for the rest of us. Yeah, Christy, but are they going to be able to afford it? You know, that becomes the thing, is the laws and regulations and taxes that they're putting into place now is going to affect everything that you give to your kids. I mean, the taxes are already in place, and you can't give your kids over, I think it's about $16,000, or they're going to get taxed on it. I mean, you can gift your kids $16,000, and then the government has their hand out. That's what happens to, you know, most of the farms. That's why, you know, Billy Gates owns a lot of what he owns. The parents die off, and you know, the kids are left with these major bills and taxes and things they have to pay to even inherit their parents' property. Ham, eggs, and a jelly donut. That's hard to complain. Yeah, it's fear porn every day, Christy. It just, red alert, red alert, red alert. The world is ending, the world is ending, the solar flare is going to kill us, the power is going out, the water's contaminated. Green, green, green. It's funny how our government wants to put all these regulations and things on us. And I wonder how green the military is and how green all those bombs are that are being dropped and the millions of people being killed. It blows my mind about the whole Russian deal over there. You had a few groups of people down there fighting amongst themselves on the border. I think the whole thing got started because there was 100 or a couple of hundred people that were killed between the two down there. And now we're looking at what, 700,000 people dead. But you talk to the politicians and it was all worth it. Those 600,000 dead people, it was all worth it. More war, more money. It's all worth it. Send those people off to their death. For what? What in the hell good has any of it done? The whole Israeli deal over there. Insanity. It really is insanity. I won't lie, the discussion has been with me and Ann to consider leaving the U.S. But where are you going to go? As screwed up as we are here, it is the best place to be. All of the other countries are following suit. In which country are you going to go to? The lines are being drawn right now, east versus west. The east, China, Russia, India, Brazil, those countries we're all aware of. They're taking their own stand against the West, against the political system, the financial system. And in the past, for the last couple of hundred years, well, the U.S., anytime anybody wanted to go against that system, they just sent the military over there to take care of that. Made examples out of them, just like they did the Americans, I've got a good buddy, a Marine, veteran. Did a couple of tours over in Afghanistan, Iraq. The words from his mouth were, you don't realize who the invader is until you see two people fight over a bottle of water you threw on the ground. In that situation over there, you can't blame those people. I mean, to them, they were invaded. And amazingly, they stood up and fought for 20 years and held off the big bad U.S. government. And those people are just the most recent to actually see, how their government lied to them and sent them off to do things. For what? I mean, there may even be a few Vietnam guys in here. Was everything that we lost and did in Vietnam worth it? Was everything that people gave lives, blood, what is it, blood and treasure. How much blood and treasure did America have to give to do what we did in Afghanistan and Iraq? Is it any better today? After 20 years and thousands of American lives and billions of dollars, is it really any better? Yeah, well, you know, that leads into the discussion. As Freedom once said, you can follow God or you can follow government, but you can't follow both. And that's really just a damn good statement, Freedom. Because I never have understood, as a Christian-based country, what makes it okay for you to go off and kill a bunch of people in a foreign land just because someone told you to. If you're a follower of God, and one of the basic 10 rules that God gave us was, thou shalt not murder. I know a lot of y'all think it says, thou shalt not kill. I think the rule says, thou shalt not kill, but in all honesty, it says, thou shalt not murder. So if you follow that, and yet the government, whoever, Biden, Trump, Reagan, Clinton, go back through time, because this jackass stood up and told you that it was okay and we need to go kill all these people, did that make it right in God's book? And now those people are going to have to answer for that. Yep, it's a banker's war. Again, you go back to them names, Rothschild, Rockefeller, you know, the big ones. And it really chaps my ass that they pick our young kids to go over there and do their biting for them. My dad served in the Navy. And so one thing he told me, pounded into my head, he knew. Whatever you do, do not join the military. I know for some people out there, it's a last resort, and it did them a lot of good. Not that I want to speak down on the vets or the people in the military, but I don't know anybody outside of the military today that says if they had known then what they know now, they wouldn't have done it. And like I said, I know it helped a lot of people. I got friends that were down and out on drugs, broke, had nothing, and joined the military, and it made them good people. It gave them some discipline and foresight and some skills to use. But that is no excuse to send my son or daughter over to some foreign land to die in a sand dune for a banker's cause. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it. And though I support vets, you know, I can't hoorah for the military. You may miss it, Joe, but man, you sure sounding a lot better. I don't know, guys. It's just a big clusterfuck. Excuse my French. I don't know where it's going. I don't think it's going to be this. I mean, I'm sure someday we're going to wake up and it's going to be Mad Max, but it's a long road to get there. and they are going to put as much pain and suffering on us as they can the whole time to wear us down. It's working. I think they're winning. Look at what is going on today and tell me they're not winning. Show me they're not winning. Everybody wants to get on here and complain about the doom and gloom, but that is literally the life we live. Some are more fortunate than others, but for the mass amount of people, it's not good. Harder and harder and harder. More expensive, more expensive. You know, and I've even heard in the last couple of weeks that, you know, there's going to be another big inflation kick. So what are people going to do when everything goes up another 20, 30%? Increase your grocery bill by another 20 or 30%. Increase your energy prices by another 20, 30%. I know most of y'all have probably heard that our strategic oil reserve is, what, down to 15, 17% now? What are people going to do when gas goes to $8, $10 a gallon? I said it last year. I think we'll see $10 a gallon gasoline. And I know in some places out there it's, you know, $7, $8 now out in California, some places, New York. What are you going to do when your electric bill increases on your house another 20 or 30%? I watched a couple of videos the other day from people up in Canada that were getting like $700, $800 water bills. How the hell do you get a $700 or $800 water bill? I don't get the whole gist of all of it. Well, college education. What good is that college education going to do you now? I mean, that used to be the big thing, you know, the last 30, 40 years. Oh man, you know, go to college, get you an education, you're going to come out, you're going to get you a good job, make lots of money. Now, you know what? Biden's taking care of all that college debt. To go to college, you got to go put yourself in, you know, $100,000, $200,000 in debt. You come out of college. I know people that have a college education that are working at McDonald's. And where are you going to go to work with your college education? What are you going to do? You're a graphic designer, you're a history major, you're a language arts major, or whatever it is. What in the hell are you going to do? Not only can you not get a job, now you got, you know, $100,000, $200,000 in debt you got to pay back. But that's okay. Joe's going to take care of it. And now your college education is worth crap. What good is it going to do to send my girls to college? I'd rather send my girls to a technical trade school to learn some kind of skill. Whatever that may be, working on robots, welding, fabrication. What good does it do to make all that money when the government's just going to come back in and tax you for it? They're going to hold their hand out and take 50%. Then they're going to tax you on the rest of everything else that's left over till eternity. Yeah, Joe, I think that's the Great Awakening. The true facts and truth are really what's going on. Yeah, HVAC tech. I mean, that's it's really something that everybody's going to have. Heating cold and refrigeration. Crazy. Topsy-turvy world we live in. Right is wrong, wrong is right. Morals are screwed. Everybody wants to identify as a red-haired gray cat today. Not even taking into consideration, I'll get a few people butthurt on this probably, but you know, nature has a very strict way of ruling out things in life. And that's why I consider all of that, whatever you want to call it, gay, trans, I ain't up to all the terms, but you know, nature took care of all of that long ago. And that's where they get our kids involved in this deal, because any gay or trans person out there, you are not going to multiply. Nature's going to take care of you. That's how nature does it. When you can't procreate between a man and a woman, you die out. If it's unnatural and not right, it doesn't seem to last too long in nature. And that's why these people keep fucking with our kids. Because without our kids, that line or train of thought and belief in whatever it is that you want to be today, it don't last. Nature takes it out. That's why I don't call it natural. And it's a disease, a mental illness. Yeah, Joe, you pretty much have to have a couple of illegal side hustles to make it work today. You know, back when I was in high school, which would be, what, in the 80s, I used to sit around in class and think, oh man, you know, I'm going to work hard and make my $1 million, and I'm just going to retire and be done and go live my life. $1 million, man, you got it made. In today's world, growing up and being successful to some degree, how to hide $1 million. Keep it away from the government. Some of it. It's crazy. What I was hearing the other day about the new money standard with inflation and cost and all that combined. You know, if you ain't making 100,000 today, you're not making it. You don't make $150,000, you probably can't afford a, you know, decent home. $150,000 salary is what, you know, 50 or 60 used to be back in the day. You know, back when a new house used to cost $15,000, $20,000, a new car, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. It is literally gone insane. And what can we do about it? Yeah, see, Joe. How come an American that's lived here their whole life, paid taxes, abide by the system, can't go down and get assistance for the government? I mean, it seems like it should be a pretty easy deal. You're an American citizen, you fell upon hard times. That's what you paid in all this money for. You go down there and apply and you get denied and you gotta wait 2 or 3 years. What the fuck is somebody supposed to do for 2 or 3 years waiting around on the government to give them a minimal amount of money to live on? It ain't gonna be enough. My mom died of cancer almost 15 years ago. She was on disability, Social Security, worked and paid in her whole life, 60 years. Well, the government sent her $800 a month. Work your whole life, and the government's going to send you $800 or $1,000 to live on. But they'll give each one of these son of a bitches coming across. Gets me started, guys. But the sun is up. I got things to do in town today, so I better get off of here. I do appreciate all y'all guys stopping by, sharing links. Y'all go check each other out. Spread the word, folks. Spread the word. Don't be the silent majority anymore. At least make your opinion heard. Use these times to build community and people around you. Things are going to get harder and tougher. I figured out my phone where I don't have to use the video recorder anymore, so I'll start trying to make some more videos. It's just hard on YouTube. You see all the stupidity and you wonder if you're doing any good or not. But thank y'all guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Good seeing y'all all. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Be good out there.